Welcome to From Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. I'm your host, a holistic healing coach, divorce recovery coach, and a passionate advocate for personal growth and your guide on the journey to healing. This podcast is for those who are struggling with the feelings of loneliness, disconnection, feeling stuck, and who are ready to discover their inner potential and live a life overflowing with love and connection. Inside, we are going to explore the path from pain to transformation, bridging the gap between loneliness and abundance through heartfelt conversations, spirituality, energy work, and self-awareness. So let's get started on this soulful journey together. Welcome to another episode from Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. Today we have a guest who is a powerhouse, a woman who stands and does so many different roles, not only in her career, but also privately. And I am really excited about these conversations because as women, we take on these roles, we show up in them, and we do them greatly in the way that we know it. So I know that this conversation is going to resonate with so many of you who have taken on many different roles for themselves, have different components of their careers, their businesses, their lives that are like, it is working all okay, and I'm in the midst of it. So without delay, welcome, Farah, and I'm excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. That really put a big smile from one side to the other, because that's exactly how most of us are, aren't we?
Yes. And I can't wait for diving deeper in this conversation where we also going to be very honest and raw as to what that does to us as women and how we can really lean into our own power by not losing ourselves. But before we step into that conversation, please introduce yourself for the listener.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Farah Ardeshir. As we play a lot of roles, I'm a daughter, mom of three, wife, sister, daughter-in-law of, I would say, two sets of in-laws, I would say, because they're so close to each other as aunt and mother-in-law, kind of. Yeah. And I also run a certified home-based bakery from home, and I'm a holistic practitioner. And of course, it was a journey that was brought to me, and then through that, I started doing organic soaps, candles, and creams, because life unfolds as you hit that destination and you feel, oh, I'm done. And then, no, something more is coming up. So that is a whole gist of me, I think, in short, or not.
I love it. You have given yourself so many amazing roles. And a lot of these roles, as you shared, naturally just unfold.
Absolutely.
And other roles just are right there in our faces and we are not willing to see them or not ready for it yet. And I know that's what the conversation is going to lead into today and unfold in that way. But let me start with the very first question, Farah, which is, what was your loneliness or disconnection moment that led you into the overflow of what you're living today?
All right. So for me, when I was younger, I was introduced to Reiki healing. And of course, you know what your parents say you do because they know best for you. So you flow with that. So I learned Reiki healing 1 and 2. And then when I was 18, my Reiki teacher told my mom, I think she's ready for level 3. Hey, at 18, I'm not going to know much, but I knew what Reiki was, and I would do it when I was hurt or somebody was hurt or feeling uncomfortable or in pain. And I became a Reiki master. Yay, you know. And the thing that really got me was I didn't say, okay, I'm ready to be one, or I was guided by someone that you are ready. So now when I think of it, I feel, nice, that was good. And then, of course, life leads you to having, you should have a good career, make a life, make a living. I moved to the US, studied hospitality management. You know what? At times, we just go with the flow. I do not know if that is truly our flow. And we have a lot of blinkers that we put on. We go because we are told to. People say this is how it is. Society says this is how it should be. And we want to be those good people following the rules and regulations put on us by someone else.
Yep.
unless we have the aha moment or a whack on the head or whatever has to happen to awaken. I may have had a lot of awakenings like, hey, wake up, wake up. And sometimes we don't listen until the biggest one comes and we choose to listen or not. Life went through. Now, when I look back internally, it wasn't what I wanted, but I did it because I had to, right? Kids happen, marriage happened, kids happen. I'm trying my best to be the best, to get the best. And somehow the best doesn't come to me. I've had my frustrations, I've had my give up moments. What is this? I'm doing the best. Nothing's working out the way I wanted to. And I've always, even not knowing at that time, I would tell my husband, I said, maybe I'm not at the right place. I'm not choosing the right things. Because he's like, every time you have a problem, and I'm like, maybe I'm just not choosing the right thing. And still, again, I would go ahead, do it because it was my duty. It was my compulsion. I have to do it. I have to pay the mortgage. I have to pay the bills. I have to do this. And I tried to put in as much positivity in a situation that wasn't meant to be. That's why I had no.
I'm pause you there because there's so many nuggets that you're sharing that so many women feel, right? We feel this obligation to perform. You feel this obligation to show up in ways that we have to make everything continue to go, 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 go.
Right.
Even though when I'm hearing you say, for it's like there was this little voice inside of you, it's like maybe you're just not choosing the right thing.
Or there were situations. There were situations more than the voice because it's so loud outside that because you're on a go, 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 when do you have time to sit to listen to that little voice? If you sit and just be with yourself, which I never knew what that was, then I would have listened. But my guides and angels there were always giving me a situation. Okay, got into a job. After a while, some hiccup, unnecessary stupidity would come up, which, why did this happen? Doesn't need to happen, would come up. That is what they were trying to guide me. Look, I'm throwing a problem, get out. And I would push myself through it, cry, blah, blah, and just push myself. Oh, everybody does it. Who are you? Are you special? Blah, 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 that you don't have to do this. I know a lot of us go through that.
We have so many negative dialogue.
Exactly, right? Because go, go, go was always the case. Never sit and listen, kind of. And then I did things that I did not like just because I had to provide. And the biggest blow on this understanding happened when my sister passed. She did the same thing. She worked in a job she hated because she had to pay the mortgage. And she passed. What happened to that house, that mortgage she had to pay? How could she control that now? And that was the biggest hit on the head. And I was like, if I die, all this unnecessary thing that I'm doing, I don't need to. The house is still going to be on mortgage. Somebody will have to take care of it. And that was my true awakening. Like, hello, you're not listening. So my came through a lot.
Oh my gosh, the nuggets you're sharing are gold here because when we don't take the time as women to sit and reflect with ourselves, listen to that little voice inside of ourselves, our gut feeling, our intuition, we will be put in situations, as you were, that are not comfortable, that make you wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I am doing the right thing. I'm trying to be the best, and I am the best, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and tell me, where am I off? Well, the energy of it is like, can you please just stop and really think about this? And your moment of stopping and thinking about it came with a very devastating loss.
Yes,
when I see that.
Well, see, the loss was, dealing with the loss of a very close person is tough for everyone, right? No matter what they are going through, what age, a loss is a loss. Even when you have somebody pass at 100, they've lived their life, it's still a loss. So no matter what age, the loss is going to hurt as a loss. When they're younger, it's more. Again, and I would like to put this part in, when there is a loss happening, especially of a child, a lot of people give attention to the parents, the spouse, the children if they were. Now, I was lucky that, my sister didn't have a spouse or children, two less or three less souls in the devastation, but with the parents and all. And I have noticed as a sibling, and this is for all the siblings out there who are hearing this, nobody gives you that much attention as what parents and husbands and kids are given. But you too, and I want you all to feel that that loss is also a big loss. And no matter if somebody's not coming to you as much, you are still at that same stage in a different way of that loss. So don't feel left out. Be with yourself because you will be your healer.
Not
Parents,
lineage. I'm sure you
yeah,
have had
yeah.
many times as well where it's like, okay, I've made peace with it, I'm moving on, and then something hits and you're back into that grief again. It is not lineage.
It is not, and it'll always be there. As I always tell my clients, I can't change the situation, but I can change your response to it. The responses could be, going up and down. The downs sometimes go a little bit lower than needed, but I don't want you to stay down. The ups and downs have to happen in life to live. It can be a straight line, that's that. But the choice of staying down, how long do you want to stay down? How deep do you want to go down in the negative aspect of it is your choice. So yes, do I have my moments? Of course I have my moments. Yeah, it's a loss and it'll always be till we reunite again if people believe in all those things. But I can be a strength for others and I have been a strength for people more as siblings. So when I see a loss, I will help the parents, but I will attain to the siblings more because that's how it is, because they don't get the attention. And I have understood that as a sibling.
Right.
And I have seen it as well.
Yes.
So that's the part of loss and grief that I wanted to emphasize on.
Yeah.
And then, yes, situations give you, if you have no time to hear that invoice, start observing. The situations will come in a way where it is something happens, and those are knocks on the door, or hello, wake up. Things are not falling in place if they're not falling in place for a reason. And now when I look back at my life, I think that's what it was, because now I have had time to pause. Can I change my past? I cannot, but I can take the learnings from the mistakes I made to see that it doesn't go in the future. And that's what I'm doing now, to get up, dust myself, and help others. Because at my time, I didn't have anyone to say, hey, here's my hand, get up. I learned how to get up on my own because, again, wasn't aware of things, wasn't aware of things. So when my sister's loss happened, now this is where my journey starts in the holistic practice. After my sister passed, a medium, and I knew about mediumship and I wanted to be a medium and channel and everything since I was 18. But this time a medium gave a message to us as a family. And the funeral next day was better at handling than I could have handled or my parents could have handled. And that is when I said, oh my God, this is what I want to do for people. Yeah. So in my journey of finding a channeling and mediumship teacher, it took 2 years. I found one, but in between the universe or my guides and all I was hearing was hypnotherapy, hypnosis. I was hearing interviews of people or channelers, hoping that somebody would say a name and then I would find them and I would go and learn from them. But the words that came up more was, I'm a hypnotist. Therapy did this. One of my friends had a channeled message on her Facebook post, and I'm like, are you a medium? She's like, not really, but why? I said, I want to help people. This. She says, hypnotherapy. I'm like, what is this hypnotherapy? I know what all these people are made to do stuff on stage, and I've seen it in movies. I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not what it is. That's not what I want to do. Why aren't they understanding? So this came 3 times. And the third time when it came, I said, okay, what are you trying to tell me? And I listened. Finally, I started listening and acknowledging things that were happening around me. And then I researched what it was. And I was like, oh my God, this is even beyond what I wanted to do. Because that is supernatural. Yeah. Channeling, mediumship is supernatural. This is tangible in an aspect because it's still grounded here, right? And I said, okay, great. Once I took that decision, I'm going to learn this, did I find a channeling teacher? And it all started
together. Yes.
Yes. So I did my basic hypnosis and I did my channeling mediumship, and I already had Reiki. Now Reiki was taken into the aspect of now going outwards towards people and then not just leave it with the kids and the family and all that. And then in a conversation of, talking about conscious mind, subconscious mind, traumas, is that did I have someone say, "Oh my God, I want to know about my past life. I want to know." You do past life regression. And that was a knock, knock again to take me to the journey to past life regression. So when I started learning past life regression, my teacher, who at that time, my friend who said, "You should learn hypnosis," I learned it from her. So I was doing hypnosis. So she said, "Oh, Farah, you'll have to start again with hypnosis." I said, "Whatever, let's do it again." We did our first module and I was practicing one of my um, we were learning together. And I'm like, "Okay, but where's the hypnosis part coming in?" And he's like, "What is hypnosis?" I said, "Aren't we learning hypnosis?" He's like, "No." I said, "What are we learning then?" He's like, "We are learning inner child work." I said, "What's inner child work?" And he's like, "Oh, this is what," because he was a psychologist, like
Yeah.
he had done psychology and all that. So
Yeah.
he was getting into more advanced but more holistic aspect of things.
Yeah.
We explained, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is even beyond what I thought I wanted to do." So I came here learning past life regression, but I got to learn inner child work, which was deeper, advanced trauma work. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I didn't ask, but because I listened, they gave me what now I need to do." So I
And
knew
this is
hypnosis now.
brilliant. This is
Right.
brilliant because when we say yes, not one door opens, many door open.
And it is the doors that you don't even know that
Yes,
needed for you open when you trust.
exactly. And it's gonna come through people. It's gonna come through situations. It's gonna come through like you have had. Like you think that you're stepping into one thing, but it becomes a whole different thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm going deeper. There's even more deep. Like how deep can I really go here?
And because I allowed, they gave what was needed, right? I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And okay, you already have this. Now we are giving you this. Surprise.
Yes.
And then I learned past life regression. And I was like, I love past life regression because it's again connecting to spiritual. And again, people don't believe in all that. And I had heard a story from my teacher once that when you're doing inner child work, somebody had gone into a past life. Automatically, subconscious took them, right? Because when was the first time this happened? And the subconscious is taking you there because they have all the information. And I was like, "Wow, that's so cool." Till I had one of my clients do that. I was like, "Oh my God, that is exactly what she's doing." And then, okay, now follow the past life to get her back into this life and work. So it's amazing how the human body is. And I have learned, like, I understood always the physicalities of the human body, but after learning all this, I have another kind of, respect, or the powerhouse we are is not just the physical aspects of how the heart automatically beats. It's just so much more to it that we don't realize it. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And that makes me take care of this temple of mine even more, right? You have to take care of this body because it is more than what we are shown or what we know. And if you
Yes.
want this to function physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you have to be balanced.
So I believe we have four bodies. The one is the physical body that everyone sees and
Yeah.
everyone judges, and we judge
And
ourselves
everybody
on it.
knows, the doctors know the physical body.
Exactly. Everyone
Yeah.
knows. I agree with that. Then you have the mental body when you talk about mental health and how that works. And we're still discovering things there. The emotional body, which has been the biggest part I find that we as women, as well as humans in general, oppress the most. So we don't even know, understand what emotions are actually meant to do for us. So we try to go, go, go. In going, we're stopping and suppressing our own emotions. And then the fourth one, which is the spirit, the light, and this amazing teacher, Jeffrey Allen, always says, our spirit is not in our body is in our spirit. And it sounds like, what do you mean? Like, no, my body is something I can see, and a spirit I can't see, so therefore my spirit is in my body. But then you're making your bigger light very small and putting it in a box almost as to how big it can be, versus knowing that your light is too big to be contained by your body. But now the spirit is not in the body is in the spirit. What are
Right.
your thoughts about that, Farah, when it comes to the four bodies, or when it comes to this way of thinking?
Yeah. See, I'll tell you again, the physical, everybody knows, doctors know, we have advancements in science and all that. Through that, I feel the emotional body triggers the mental body. So if the emotional body is balanced, the mental body is automatically balanced. And when you go beyond the spiritual body, and you know what? I had heard what you're saying for the first time, but it makes sense. It does make sense. Your spirit is you lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. It's eternal. This physical body is this lifetime. And if you notice, our aura is around our physical body. It's not inside. The energies around us are all outside our physical body. So when the gentleman you just mentioned says that, and as you were saying that, I said, oh my God, that makes more sense, because your energy, your soul is all one piece. And if you see and if you start noticing, your body is in your soul. See, we are taught that soul is a little thing that is inside sitting in the sacral area.
Yes.
Right? But now, and I hope people who are listening realize the way I have, that it's beyond. We just know we are all told it sits at the sacral. But we are beyond. We are a body within the soul. And that makes so much sense now. Because you remember, you feel, it is going external. You have a deja vu. You're looking through your eyes and like, oh my God, I have seen this before. Why do you say that? Because your soul outside is saying that.
Yeah.
That is maybe a past life. So yeah, it makes so much more sense. And as you said it, I'm like, oh my God, things start unfolding. This is the kind of unfolding that you allow when you stay aware, when you stay open, right? Now, I learned something in the moment, and the understanding came in the moment.
Absolutely.
So I would suggest people that even if you give yourself 2 minutes out of 24 hours, which is possible, 2 minutes, a lot of wow could come up. Your 2 minutes could go to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I always tell my clients, and I realized it for myself, when mostly women, everything is for everyone else. 100% you give externally, you don't give anything to yourself. Through my experience, I realized that when I gave 5% to myself and I gave 95 outside, it was equal to the 100 they used to get from me. There was no different. When I started doing 10%, the 90% was similar. But we are not willing to take that step and action because we are afraid. Oh my God, what do they think? I'm selfish? No, you're taking care of yourself. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself as much as you have for your kids and all that. Because understand, at the end of it, if you don't take care of yourself, you're depriving your family.
It's
See
the biggest
that.
lesson as women we have to really come to face with, is that we are
Mhm.
not pouring from a cup that's almost empty. We pour into our own cup, feeling our own joy, our own happiness, our own aha moments, our own stillness, so that we can pour from the overflow of the cup. And it always is like, oh, mom was really present then, versus mom was rushing through and thinking about the dishes and thinking about the groceries and the food and the this and the that. And
Yeah.
that's not really presence that we
Yeah,
want
because you're
for
giving
us.
them five. You know what? In that moment where you're 100 everywhere, you're less everywhere.
Yes.
You're still 100% present. But if you give that 100%, 5 minutes to someone will create a bigger impact than you giving them 5% for an hour.
100%.
It would be much different, and you would be able to be um, more fulfilling to all the things. But everybody needs to understand, we as women, I mean, I can't speak for men, we as women need to have our boundaries. And you know what? If we haven't, it's never too late.
There's not a judgment coming out here. This is just from lived experience. I know I have lived that experience. You're sharing that experience.
Most of us are.
Yeah.
Men or women. We all are doing that. And you know what? I tell my clients, crap happened. Can't change it. how much are you willing to change it now so that it doesn't continue in the future? That's where your power is. If you're going to say, oh, I did crap, I'm a bad person, you will remain. You're pulling your bad into your present and your future. But hey, I want to improve. I was bad. Now I'm going to be good, and you're going to get even better. That's the powerhouse you can have.
Anyone listening, really feel the message that we're sharing right now. This is coming from love. This is not coming from judgment. We all have done it. We all do it. But really feel into and ask yourself the higher quality question. Where in my life can I give myself that 2, 5, 10 minutes? And if you're really like, you go beyond the measures and you're giving yourself an hour, wow, do it. Just give yourself that freedom to choose yourself and do it over and over and over again and go through that discomfort that you're feeling so that you can become very present for your loved one. There is no magic pill. Have you discovered a magic pill, Farah?
Not as yet, but I can tell you the little sort of magic pill I could say is that just be there for yourself. It will not always be perfect, but it'll be something.
Yes.
Right? And I want everyone to understand one thing. When you take care of yourself, it is not being selfish. You are selfish when you harm someone and give time to yourself. But when you give time to yourself, to give time to yourself because you need it to, that is self-care. So you would need to understand the difference between selfish and self-care. Your child is crying and you say, no, I'm going to give 10 minutes to myself. That is selfish. You can calm the child's okay, child's playing, then you give yourself 10 minutes. That's self-care. People confuse themselves, oh, if I take care of myself, I'm selfish. So always ask that question, am I jeopardizing or am I harming someone or am I, pulling down someone? Am I affecting anyone in a negative way when I take care of them? And if the answer is no, you are at self-care.
Great insight, great way of reframing and rethinking about how you view self-care versus selfish.
Yeah.
Now, Farah, we have a little ritual on this podcast where I get to ask you a question that the previous guest has left. And as faith will have it, always these questions magically are exactly what we need to ask in the conversation. So the question I have for you today is, what was the divining moment where you couldn't ignore your new reality?
So I had to leave my job, a full-time job that paid my bills, to do something I truly wanted to. I think I found my calling, and I looked for every opportunity external that could make me leave my job. But knowing I could literally see a door right in front of me. All I had to do was walk those steps, open the door, and what I wanted was there. But I wanted someone to carry me, put me to the door, open the door for me. And no matter how hard I tried, and your guides and angels, God's always with you, but they were standing there and saying, walk it. If you stumble, we'll hold you, but you can walk. They had the confidence in me that I had to walk. And when I took my steps and walked, because everything around failed that I thought that they would do it, I opened the door. And when I opened the door, I said, see that I don't fall, neither should my family fall. I don't know how you do it. Please just do it. And I walked and I opened the door. And I think it was the best decision of my life, feeling wise. Externally, things are still working out. And I have to be patient. And if you remember, in the beginning, we were talking, go, 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 go. And then I was given a time, wait. And I did not know what wait and do nothing meant.
Oh my gosh.
Do nothing. Do nothing? How do you do nothing? And still everybody hearing wants that, doing nothing. I wish I retire. I wish I win a lottery so I don't have to do anything. We all internally want that. And I was given that opportunity, do nothing. Do nothing. But that's what I want, right? Do nothing. Things will just fall in place. Who doesn't want that? But then the instilled fear gets in. And then we start getting in the way and we just make ourselves miserable. Nothing else changes. You want to stay and let things unfold, or you can start doing things and nothing's going to happen because it's just going to unfold the way it has to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love this answer. Do nothing. I know in my own journey that doing nothing was the most uncomfortable phase I've ever had. And I continue to have
Yeah.
those phases every time there's a new evolution coming up. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, we're there again.
Thought once I opened the door, I had finished all my tests. I did it. And I'm like, what now?
Yeah.
And I've grown to realize one thing, it's always moving. It's never I'm done.
No.
It's a new thing. And it's a step above. Then it's a step above.
And it needs to be because that's how we evolve as souls and as human beings, not human doings that we have been taught to do, but as a beingness to be in the stillness of ourselves. And it's a whole different way of living. And I'm so grateful that you found the courage to do something so uncomfortable, unsure, and still doing it because you knew that was your path. So many women know it. And I'm really, truly, lovingly encouraging you to step into your knowing and take that uncomfortable step. It is temporary. It is going to shift your life.
Yeah. And you know what? Later is pulling that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
I will do it once this happens. I'll do it once that happens. And you're adding to that baggage because it's not the same bag you're going to hold. You're just going to add to that baggage and it's going to get heavier and heavier. So why don't you just start, getting rid of the things that are not needed and move through that journey, step by step. Everything is a step by step. Everybody thinks, oh, I have to take a leap. No, it's one small step.
I am loving this conversation. Thank you, Farah, for your beautiful insights and your share of your journey. Anyone who feels inspired by her journey, by understanding and wanting to connect with Farah, all the information is in the description below. Reach out, connect, and really allow yourself to be seen by yourself first. Thank you so much, Farah.
Thank you so much. And I would like to leave with this one line, which my sister used to follow, and I have it on my website as well. Tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Till next time.
Thank you for listening. I hope this episode has helped you to feel less alone in finding tools towards a life which is overflowing with love and purpose. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a second to rate and review. Each review helps us to reach more individuals who are seeking healing and personal growth just like you. And don't forget to take a screenshot and share your aha moments on your Instagram stories and tag me, Matina. I'll see you next week. Take care.